everybody, well today I'm finally making my maple walnut cake, but this is in honor of a show that I did back in 1978 called The Student Prince. I was in the ensemble, and then also, I'll show you this picture again, a lady in waiting. It was absolutely a thrill for me to do this show because at that time I was engaged to my first husband, and it was just a wonderful experience. It was done in 1978 with the Monmouth Opera Society. So I'm going to plug this in and we're going to get started. A stick and a half of butter, of unsalted butter. You're going to need 1 and 1/2 cups of brown sugar. This is brown sugar. It's going to be a sweet dish but delicious. You have to clean the butter for a few minutes. And this was like such a wonderful time for me. You know, I was young then, there was no coronavirus, just a wonderful time. And also maple tends to be made a lot in the fall. We're going to cream this for about a minute. Adding in 3 eggs, 1 at a time. Okay? Very buttery, but it's all going to mix together. Getting rid of all that butter, but oh, it's going to be delicious once it's done. Here we go, Okay, now, this is going to be fun. We're going to be adding in I have to find the syrup. I have to find exactly how much syrup to put in here. Okay, 1 tablespoon of pure, it could be pure maple syrup, it could be any kind of maple syrup. I'm adding in 1 tablespoon. Here we go. It's very sticky, so be careful. Here we go. 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Let me get this cleaned up because it's going to be very sticky. Okay, mix this together, and then I'm going to add just a drop of extract, the maple extract, just a little bit. Putting in just less than a half a teaspoon of maple extract, okay? You want it to have that mapley taste. Oh, I cannot wait to have this. I had maple walnut cake many years ago. Folks, it's so delicious. Okay, we gotta get this syrup cleaned up, because any drop of syrup will have a sticky mess, and we don't need that on the countertop, and then you can't get it up. Well, doing the Student Prince was a rewarding experience for me. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the dry ingredients. I'm adding in, and make sure this is clean. I'm adding in my dry flour and baking soda and baking powder. This recipe you have to have both. I'm adding in my flour. I'm adding in, okay, 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'll do it in separate bowls. 1. It has to be done right, or I tell you folks, this will not come out. Let me just wash this teaspoon off. It's got sticky maple syrup on it. I don't know what it is with maple syrup. Baking soda and powder, the same thing. I want to make sure we have the right one. My eye's not very good in the morning, folks. All right, here we go. 1 teaspoon of soda, excuse me. Soda. Put this over here. And 1 teaspoon of baking powder. What we're going to do is we're going to mix this together. Okay. Mix this together with a spoon. Now, the next thing is I have to get my milk. You're going to alternate with the dry and 1 cup of milk. Use whole milk. A lot of times you can use buttermilk, but I really prefer to use whole milk. It makes the cakes taste a lot better. So we're going to start with the dry. the milk. Okay, it's liquidy batter, but not to worry. This is cake batter. It's supposed to be very liquidy, but it's supposed to be delicious. Now we're going to mix this together, make sure everything is out before I add in my nuts. Okay. Use chopped walnuts, okay? Now I'm not using the whole bag, folks. I want to garnish this also when I'm done with this, when I make my maple frosting. Okay. Mix this together. Might need a little bit more. All right, now the next thing I want to do is grab my cake pans. I'm using parchment paper. It's very important to use parchment paper because you don't want anything to stick and then you don't have a really good cake. I'm using unsalted butter. Okay, let me just grab a towel and we're going to grease this all over. We're going to mix this together, and then we're going to put it on parchment. Always make sure, folks, you grease your parchment paper. And slowly put it in. I have to figure out how to cut the edges of this parchment paper, make it round. There's got to be a trick to this trade. I just don't know it yet. I'll figure it out, folks. All right. Put this here. I'm not done yet with this, not to worry. We just have to try to even it out. There we go. It literally spreads all over the place, as you can see. Here we go. Now it takes about a half an hour to bake, and then we have to cool it off. Then we're going to make maple frosting. All right, we're going to put this in the oven and bake this for about a good, let me spread it out a little bit more. Here we go. A good half an hour. So we're going to make the maple frosting now. Like this was such an honor to do the student prints. I have to sip the powdered sugar because it's a little lumpy and I don't want to take a chance. I want a nice smooth frosting. Now, I'm making a vanilla frosting, folks, but I'm going to add in, here we go. I'm going to add in a little bit of syrup, a little bit of milk, okay? So I'm going to grab my milk. Now, if we don't have enough milk, we're going to have to add more in. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. We'll find out in a minute when we start mixing it together. Let's see what happens as I mix. It might not be enough, but remember, I'm also adding a maple syrup. Nope. There we go. And my maple syrup. This is what's going to turn this, folks, into maple frosting. It's a little bit too liquidy, so we're going to add a little bit more sugar into it. Sometimes you have to add things in when you make a homemade frosting. You don't know until you actually start working with it. There we go. Okay, now we're going to put a little bit on the bottom, but the main thing is going to be on the top. I had maple walnut cake before. It is so delicious. A little bit on it in the middle. Oh, there we go. Oh, God, it's just so good, folks. Make sure we have enough for the top, because that'd be hard not to have enough for the top. Wonderful, folks. You have no idea how wonderful parchment paper is. Now we're going to go on the top. Okay, here we go. We've got to be very careful. We don't have that much left, folks. It just disappears so fast. What we're going to do is we're going to garnish this with nuts, so it's going to look really beautiful once it's done, either way. There we go. Here we go. Oh, it smells so delicious, folks. Oh. Spread this and spread this and spread this and wait till I put the nuts on top of this, folks. It's going to be gorgeous. Here we go. You don't need a lot because it's very sweet, folks. It's loaded with maple and sugar. It's extremely sweet. Now watch what I do, folks. We are going to garnish this. Watch this. bit more. And here we have, sorry folks, a delicious maple walnut cake. You don't have to drown it with frosting because it's sweet enough. You don't want to over sweeten it either. And you garnish it with delicious walnuts on the top. From Deborah White Home Country Kitchen, have a great day. Please subscribe to my wonderful YouTube channel.